All right, hey everybody. So I'm following up here from my video from last week, which was my HEQ5 Pro Rowan belt mod and Hypertune. Mount sitting over here. It's not set up. It's not lined up to north, nothing. I have to kind of start from ground up and get it set up. It is sunny right now, but cloudy, and it's supposed to clear off by 8 o'clock tonight. And if that's the case, then I'm hoping to get on a target and find out what the results of all that work for the Rowan belt mod and Hypertune have done for me. So I'm hoping that I have really positive results, and I'm sure if you were watching on the previous video, then you might be interested as well. So stick around, let's go check it out. My name is Doug, and this is AstroAF. All right, so the sun's down a little bit here. It's not quite so bright out, man, earlier. I'm gonna go through my setup here and balance. I tried something new this time. I got set up and aligned here for north alignment on the mount. And I tried the Polar Scope Align Pro. I've had this app for a while. I use it for mainly just for polar aligning with my polar scope. But I tried the daytime alignment today. We'll see how that works out. I set it up in top of the mount and dialed in where it told me to. It was actually really easy to use. So hopefully it got me close. So I did put the scope on and was messing around a bit, so I might have moved things around a little bit, but I was pretty careful, so we'll see how it goes. So anyway, I thought that one of the important things of the Hypertune was hopefully be the improvement in being able to balance and not having any resistance from the mount. And so I thought I'd go ahead and videotape my setup here for balancing and setup. I'll have to wait a little bit more for dark before I can carry on. So, but anyway, we'll get the balancing out of the way and see how that goes. All right, so balancing went really well. It actually was really more smooth than what I'm used to, especially the declination. I found that when I'm tightening my clutches, it used to, and as I tightened, it would move. So I'd have to kind of offset my setting circle by about 1/2 degree and then tighten, and it would move into position. It doesn't do that at all anymore, so that's really nice. It feels a lot more precision. The free rotation in the declination, boy, it was kind of trying to find a happy medium in the balance there for that, from one side to the other. I think some of that, and I do want to try and make a change on this with rotation, is to get this electronic filter wheel rotated downward, I think, or upward, one way or another, so that its weight is more evenly distributed, because I think that is kind of what offsets this. I mean, I do have the focuser on the other side, so it may not be, but I just feel like it wants to rotate toward the west a little bit. I've got it dialed in as much as I can with the ADM counterweight underneath here. That helps a lot for doing the real fine balancing. So anyway, I feel really good about it. Felt smoother than I've ever felt it before. Anyway, we'll keep going forward here. It'll be a couple hours before it's fully dark, and then I hopefully will get a good polar alignment. I'll do a 3-star polar alignment, or a 3-point polar alignment rather, in Nina. And then I'll just get on a target and start guiding. And I'm going to delete my PEC file from EQMOD, and I'll start creating a new one. That'll take quite a long while, but anyway, we'll get a PEC, and then so we'll take a look at the guiding before the PEC is created. I probably need to redo my PEC in PhD2 as well. I'm going to have to do a new calibration and run the guiding assistant and stuff. So anyway, a bunch of stuff to do tonight. Don't know if I'll actually get on a target and image. Maybe late, you know, if I get on something, I might get something going if things go well. So we'll see how it goes. I'll be back after a little bit. All right, it's gotten dark and I'm going to get started. I don't really know what to expect here, so it's going to be interesting. I'm just going to start working through things. This video in this area might be a little cut up because I might start things and stop things and whatever, and I'll try and make it as smooth as I can. I'm going to start with checking my focus and see if collimation's out and stuff like that, and kind of go from there. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reset my home on EQMOD, because I've moved these stepper motors all over the place in the rebuild, and so I'm just going to clear home and reset it to where it is right now, and yeah, then I'm just going to go from there. So I'll kind of figure this out as I go. Let's go ahead and head over to Nina. All right, over here, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and I'm going to delete this PEC file. All right, and then I want to go to my home here and unpark, and I'm going to resync the encoders. About to resync EQ ASCOM encoder position. Please confirm your mount is at the selected park position, but not parked. Okay. All right, home is now reset, and so I'll go ahead and park again. Okay, great. All right, good. So that's the first thing I needed to do, and then I'm going to head over here to Nina, and I'm connected to all my devices, and I think, let's see, I think the first thing I'm going to do is go over here and get the camera, and I'm going to get the cooling, and I'll wait for the camera to cool, and then I will begin doing, well, I'll take an image and I'll just kind of see where we're at for focus and go from there. Okay, so I got the camera cooled down to -10, and I just took a 6-second image, and I've got the annotations on. I'm going to zoom in, take a look at HFR, and let's see what focus effect has on anything here. So I'm just going to do this and take another image and see what happens to the HFR values. So let's focus out just a little bit. We're at 9.62, 11.56 on these 2 stars. Take another image. All right, that went way out, so let's go back. Let's make sure that we're still near our baseline. Looks like collimation might be okay. Alright, let's go down again. Maybe did I hit the wrong focus out button? I don't remember. I think we're heading the right direction now though. But I don't think I'm going to need to mess with collimation. It still looks good. We'll keep going down or in. Okay, that's pretty good. 8.8. Let me go down one more. 6.8. That's really pretty good. I got a feeling I'll do it one more time. Probably going to go up from here. Yeah, 8.44. So let's go back to the last position, and this will probably be a pretty decent focus position. Let me see if that changes. Okay, I think I'll leave it here. It might be able to get a little bit better. We'll let autofocus take care of that. So at this point, I think I have good enough focus for a 3-point polar align, so I'm going to go ahead and start that. And let's see how close we are, or how far we are. And I'm going to go watch the mount. So everything looks good there, nothing out of the ordinary. One of the things I did was I cleaned up my altitude adjustment screws and also the azimuth, and oh wow, yeah, pretty far out. So I'm going to have some work to do. I think I'll do that off camera. Nothing too interesting there, but I'm going to see if I can get this error corrected. But yeah, as I was saying, I cleaned up and greased my altitude adjustments bolts and also the azimuth ones because those were sticky and a little bit frustrating. I'm going to go work on this and then I'll be back in just a little bit. Okay, so I went through a couple runs after that first one and got it really tight. All the AS bolts felt great, a lot better than they used to. When you get down to the fine adjustments, they were like catchy and not smooth, and now they feel really good. I was able to get in a real tight polar alignment. Go ahead and stop this, and I guess I will go and park. Maybe I'll do the calibration and guiding assistant next. Let's check how focus is looking over here. Not good, maybe. Let's see if it comes in. Okay, that's not bad. Let's go to maybe calibration assistant first. Although I feel like we should get on a different star. Let's go see. So as far as slewing is concerned, while I was doing the polar alignment, everything seems to be running really nice and smooth. It's quiet. It's not that much quieter than what I had it before. I did the Rowan belt mod, but I had my gears adjusted really well. So, and it was running pretty quiet then, but I would say it's a little bit more quiet now than what it was. Let's see an image real quick. We've got some stars here. I'm wondering if I need to go adjust focus on my guide camera a little bit. I think I'll go mess with that a little bit. So I've got pretty good focus here, but I seem to have a lot of noise, and I'll probably need to make some new darks or something. I'm not sure. I spent a lot of time there with the focus on the guide camera because I had taken everything apart in the rig and all of the image train, and I had that all apart. So it took a while to get that back in focus. I'm also having a problem with my Celestron OAG, and I don't like the micro focuser on it because when you tighten up the locks, there's two of them, it doesn't have a, well, it's just basically the pins. It doesn't have a piece of brass around the circumference of the focuser opening, and so it's these two pins are pushing in exact spaces instead of tightening up all the way around it. It's causing me to get tilt in the camera. So when I tighten one of those up, it's tilting. So I actually just cut some pieces of notebook paper and I slid in there to shim around the camera, and that took care of the problem. It's not tilting when I tighten those anymore, but that's kind of cause for concern. I really don't like that. I may go back over and try the ZWO OAG with this and see if I have better luck. For now, I think I've got this pretty good other than the noise that I'm seeing in the image here. I think what I'll do at this point is calibration first. So we'll go through a calibration, and so we'll go ahead and slew to where it wants me to go. So we'll go ahead and slew. Let's make sure we're tracking. So we're tracking sidereal right now. That'll work. And let's go ahead and calibrate. All right, now I'm going to go and I'm going to do the guiding assistant. And before I do that though, I want to go and make sure I've got everything set up correctly here. So PEC, that looks okay. And I'm going to let this run for quite a while because I'm going to measure the declination backlash on this. So I'm going to let it run for at least a worm period, which is like, what, 638 seconds or so. Okay, this is getting ready to finish up here. I'll give it a little extra time. I think when I click stop here, it's going to do the declination backlash. And I can't remember how long that takes to run, but we'll go ahead and go with it. These high frequency star motion numbers look really promising. 0.22 arc seconds on the RA and 0.11 arc seconds on the declination. So for a total RMS of 0.24. Now I don't know that that's going to actually equate to my actual guiding numbers, but that's probably as good as I've ever seen for certain. I think, maybe total RMS with my smaller scope on this before any of the work was maybe around 0.5 arc seconds total RMS. Obviously down here in the guiding graph, we're not guiding right now. It's not sending any signals to the mount. So that's just the mount tracking without any guiding. And yeah, I think I'll go ahead and click stop now. And so now it's going to measure backlash for the declination. And I think when this is done, I'll have an opportunity to review the previous one. Maybe we can get an idea of how we are in comparison to before and after. I'll also get recommendations here that I normally accept whatever recommendations PhD2 gives me. RA min moved 0.42. What is it right now? 0.2. And deck min moved 0.65. And try starting with the deck backlash compensation of 1060 milliseconds. Apply. Alright, so previous. So this is tonight's. Let's look at the previous. 0.29, 3164 declination backlash, and 1068 declination backlash tonight. So that's pretty good. 3164 and 1068. Let's see what else is interesting here. I'm just going to kind of toggle back and forth. 5 point. Declination peak 3.01. So this peak here for right ascension, it looks like it's fairly dramatic. 62.1 pixels versus 27.45 pixels. Drift rate negative 23 pixels versus before it was negative 4.14 pixels. Yeah, negative 0.23 pixel drift rate, so that's much better. Right ascension max drift is 0.64 right now. 0.65, so not much of a change there. Drift limiting exposure, about the same. Declination drift rate 0.4. And 0.28 before. Let's see, polar alignment error 0.8 arc. That was 0.6, so that's pretty close. So up here, right ascension RMS was 0.47 versus 0.4. Declination is 0.19 versus 0.24, so we a little bit lower for each of those. 0.53 total RMS versus tonight's at 0.44. That's in pixels. In arc seconds, it's 0.24 tonight versus 0.29. Okay, I think we're guiding now. Just for fun, I still have to do the PEC on EQMOD and record that. It's pretty windy tonight too, which is probably playing in it. It's not the best night. I'm also not multi-star guiding right now. All right, let's mess around some more. Let's maybe go get on a target. I think I can stop guiding here. That's pretty good. It's definitely better than what it was before. I was a total of like maybe 1.2 in that neighborhood. I was having some other times where it was really good for what it was doing. It was like maybe 0.7, 0.8. So hard to tell right now. It is windy. Sky Atlas, I guess. And let's look for, it's pretty much galaxy season still. So look for a galaxy. What's in the sky? That Andromeda is going to be, what, Triangulum? No, that's... I mean, we don't have... I'll look. Do we have any bright nebula? All right, let's guide on that for a bit. Let's see if I got some stars. And then I'm going to start a PEC recording here. All right, PEC setup. We'll do the maximum cycles, which is 9, and we'll auto apply the PEC and record. And this will take a while. So I'm going to let it do its thing. I mean, it's going to take, maybe an hour or more. So we'll see how this goes. So I don't think tonight's turning out to be a good night to actually do this. I have had some really good guiding here, but what I've got is these peaks are wind gusts. I've been listening to the wind and watching these peaks, and they are correlating directly with each other. So I think that I am going to, we can watch this for a bit. So the wind kind of calmed down right now. Well, we'll probably get another gust here in just a little bit. So the guiding in between wind gusts has looked really good. And you can kind of see the star move if we get a big gust of wind. Let's see, as soon as these fall off of here, we can probably get a more accurate RMS. I've got more gusts going on right now though. Let's see, it doesn't seem to be hitting the scope as much. Yeah, so that just dropped. So as these fall off the end here, hopefully if the wind can stay low, get a better idea of what the actual guiding is without having the external force on it. So we're like 0.92 right now before this falls off. Yeah. So we're 0.75 here on average for what's on the display. But yeah, so I think it's hard to tell tonight with the wind what the actual guiding performance is. I would think that this is better based on what I'm seeing compared to a previous night that had some wind, but I don't really have anything in mind for what that would have been conclusively, so I think I'll let this PEC run out. This is probably being affected by the wind as well, so I'll probably end up redoing this. Maybe tomorrow evening will be a little calmer. So I think I'll leave it at that for right now. I think I need to do more testing on a calmer night. All right, so hey, it has been, I think 3 or 4 nights now, and I haven't been able to do much. I did have one other night this week that it was clear, but it was still too windy to do anything related to this video. Tonight it is clear with some partly cloudy, but it's pretty dang good right now, and it's really nice and still. So I thought I would go ahead and go back in. I wanted to redo my PEC recording. So I'm going to get on a target here and then start a new PEC recording, and then we'll see how guiding goes. I was guiding improved from the first night. So the second night was better guiding. The wind wasn't quite as intense. It was still pretty gusty. But I was afraid that since I was using a PEC recording in EQMOD that was made on a night that was real windy, that maybe that wasn't a really valid PEC recording. So I'm going to redo it. And so anyway, I will head over to start getting set up. I just got done doing a 3-point polar line. I'm going to do a quick focus and stuff and get ready. And once I get my session set up and going, then I'll come on back and we'll start the PEC recording again, and we'll just sort of go through and see how things are going. So I got 3-point polar aligned and got in focus, and I had to wait a little bit because my target was behind an obstruction and it just got clear. So I will go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and get switched over, and so you can see my screen, and I will start this process of doing a PEC file again first, and then we will get the session going and start guiding and just take a look at how things are going. I just took an image to make sure that I was clear of obstruction, and we are good there. Going to go over to EQMOD, and I'm going to delete this PEC file. So we'll remove that. And then I want to record a new one, so we'll make sure that we're tracking sidereal. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and kick off the sequence, and I'll come back over and turn on the PEC recording as soon as guiding starts. And then I'll take a long time to run, so I'll take a break and then come back after the PEC file has completed. That'll probably take like an hour or so. Go ahead and start. So it would wait a little bit longer. Okay, we are starting guiding. Okay, good. I hadn't actually checked guiding, so let's go ahead and start a recording. And I'm going to do a full 9, auto apply the PEC, so we'll go ahead and start recording. And that's capturing. That's going to take a while. We can see how guiding's doing here for a minute, though. It is really nice and still, and I've got a nice clear sky, as you can see. Let's wait for guiding to kick in here. I guess we can head back over to ENAT. It looks like we're getting info here. Yeah, 0.51. I'm going to clear, and we'll just kind of start over here. It looks like it's settling in a little bit, and this is without any PEC recording or being applied because we're recording it right now, so it is a little off. I was thinking that I kind of want to do another guiding assistant, because that was one of the things that was windy too. But I think I'll do one thing at a time here, and I'll let the PEC go, and we'll just see how this turns out. So, you know, right now we're hanging out around 0.8, yeah, and I think we can do better than that. So we'll see how this turns out. Anyway, I'll be back after a while, after I collect some more data. All right, so I changed my mind and I stopped my session, and I wanted to run the guiding assistant here, and I deleted my PEC recording that I had started over in EQMOD. So yeah, right now this is running the guiding assistant, and I need to let this run for, well, it's going to be about 10 minutes or so. I want to wait for the elapsed time to be over, I think it's 638 seconds. So I'll let it run out to about 650 or 675 or so, and that makes sure that I get one complete cycle of the worm gear. And because I believe the major period is 638, I think, for this month. I'll have to double check that. Pretty sure that's what I have configured, but I can't get to that screen right now, I don't think. Oh, maybe it'll let me. That's what, in advanced settings. Yeah, algorithms. Yeah, 638 is the period length here. So that's why I let this run out, and I also going to add a declination backlash at the end of this when it finishes, so that we can get a measure on that too. And we'll see if this ends up any better than the last one. I let that run a little bit long, but I'm going to go ahead and click stop. And now it'll run the declination backlash. I think this is better than it was last time. 0.23 for the right ascension, 0.17 for the declination, with a 0.29 total RMS for the guiding assistant here. Let's see what it finds with declination backlash, and then it will probably give me some recommendations and I'll apply those. I was happy with my calibration, so I don't think I'm going to redo that. I am going to then, once this is done, go back and restart my session, and then I'll start the PEC recording again. Yeah, I'm glad I did this. I was letting it go, and I was like, I really should do this guiding assistant again and redo this, because I just felt like the first night when I did it and it was windy, I didn't get what I want to consider valid results. But I think tonight's a good night. It's clear, it's pretty calm. There's a slight breeze. It's like it's less than like 1 meter per second or something like that. I have to look at the weather here while that's finishing. Let's go look at the weather. I just switched over to using Open Weather Map, and so I'm trying it out. Wind speed is 3.4 meters per second. So it was like 14 or 15 the other night, to give you an idea of the difference. All right, it's heading back now, so this should be wrapping up. 1 to 3 second exposure times. That's interesting. So try setting R to 0.46 minimum. I'm 0.42 right now, so apply that. Deck min move to 0.7. It's 0.65 right now. Deck backlash compensation of 1200 milliseconds. Okay, those are applied. Let's see, should we look at the backlash graph? So that's pretty good. If you take a look at this compared to what the optimum is, that's not terrible. That looks pretty good. And I want to take a review to previous. So the last one I did was on the 29th. So yeah, so I had a total RMS of 0.44 there. So 40, 19, and 44 compared to tonight, 0.29. So 23, 17, and 0.29. That's like a lot better. 0.27 peak. Let's see, 0.5, 3. 1201 on the declination backlash tonight, 1068, a little less. That's interesting. It says I have more polar alignment error tonight. 3.9 arc minutes. Well, I think this is a good guiding assistant setup though. Maybe I'll run another polar alignment before I start my session. All right, so we'll go ahead and close that. All right, and then well, I think I'll get the session set up. All right, let's try this again. All right, we're on point. We're guiding. We'll clear these. And as soon as PhD2 starts registering some numbers here, I guess it's settling in at this point. And I'll start my PEC recording again. All right. And we'll record. Okay, that's capturing. All right, we're going to let this run out. You can keep an eye on guiding here for just a little bit. And I should be exposing. Okay. And so I've got a LRGB session going. And we'll head over to the Images tab. So this is saying 0.81 and going down a little bit. 0.8. This is at 0.78 here. PhD 2 is always just a little bit ahead of what Nina reports, I think. All right, well, we'll see where this settles in. As I was watching it last time, before I restarted this, it had gotten down into the 0.6 range, so it was looking promising. So I will be back. It'll be at least an hour for the PEC recording to finish up, I think. So, and after that, once PEC is applied, then we'll have a look at how things are going at that point. And hopefully we'll have good results. We'll see. So Nina started giving me some errors on images and said that it could try and recover, but it might cause some instability. So I ended up stopping my session again, and I was like, oh yeah, I remembered that I was going to do another polar align because PhD2 indicated I was out a bit. So I'm doing that now. Anyway, working on getting this back up and running again. So, all right, I'm out here running another polar alignment. I just did one, and it wasn't bad. It was about 27 seconds out, so more than what I like. And so I ran one, and I'm running it one more time here. And we'll just make sure we're tight or make adjustments if we're not. See how we're doing. Yeah, interesting that this can be out so far in between polar alignments. See if I can tweak it in here. Oh, I think I just went past it probably. I've got my hood up out here because of mosquitoes. I'm kind of chasing it here. That one felt pretty good. Let's see where we're at. All right, there we go. I'm calling that good. With all the slewing around, I decided to do another autofocus run. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get the sequence going again. All right, so we should be guiding now. All right, let's go ahead and start a recording. All right, we're back to where we left off. I'm going to let this run out, and then I will be back and we can have a look at how things are going. All right, so hey, good morning. I fell asleep while that was going. So anyway, it's coffee time. Hey, I have merch. If you want, I've got a link down in the description for AF5. These are actually really nice, and some stickers and T-shirts. If you want to support the channel. Woke up here. I'm currently doing my flats from last night. I got about 50 images by the time I got my session started. So I'll head over and we'll take a look at that. Yeah. So flats are progressing. Just going through the filters here. So let's see. I haven't even really looked at this yet. I wanted to go over to, so in EQMOD, yeah, I got a pretty decent looking PEC curve, and that saved successfully. And this was a lot flatter and more of a symmetrical curve than what I had previously. So I think this is probably a better PEC recording. And let's see, we'll go over to PhD, and I finished off the night at 0.57. Let's go into the log viewer for last night. And so 0.69 is kind of where we ended up at on average for the, that's the beginning. Yeah, actually, let's look at these in the, as we go through. At 0.76, okay, so now this was the first 2 hours, and I think I had a meridian flip in between. So we were at 0.68 for 2 hours here, and this looks really good. I don't know what the spike might be here. And then on the last one, 0.62. So it got a little better after the meridian flip. So this is pretty encouraging. It's really good. I'm really happy with this. You know, obviously I had, everybody dreams of like, you know, 0.3 or 0.4. But I think this is really, really good, especially coming from well over 1 second. The EQMOD and the Rowan belt drive. It has certainly reduced backlash, adding the drive, and I think the improvement to the mount, you know, is about probably 0.5 to 0.6 seconds overall. And I think image-wise, there's been an improvement in the quality of the images and the roundness of stars, and so I think overall I'm really happy with what I did. I'm getting benefits. I think the money was well spent on the improvements that I'm getting. Anyway, I think overall I'm really happy with what I'm seeing for the guiding results here. Well, I'm going to go back over to Nina and finish up my flats, which is what we're on green right now. So I've just got the blue filter left to finish up, and then I think I will do an image here. I've been doing for I've got 3 nights of imaging, so stick around here for just a few. I will put this image up for you here at the end with kind of the first light on the rebuild with the Rowan mod. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the guiding results. It makes it feel worth it, you know, with an improvement of, you know, 0.5 to 0.6 seconds, on guiding for extended periods of time. I just think that it was well worth it. You know, it wasn't a hard project, but it just took some time. You know, I think it would be, you know, something that I'd recommend you do if you are having some higher guiding numbers. I did see some numbers down in like in 0.5 and stuff like that, but not for extended durations. And I'm going to go with what I see in the log files. But yeah, anyway, I feel good about it. I think it was worthwhile. I think that is pretty much where I'm at. I'm going to keep tweaking and see if I can make other, you know, some other smaller improvements somewhere. You know, it could be a little bit of mount balance. I'll double check that. It could be, there's any number of things, and go back through and dive a little deeper into PhD too. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate if you give a like and subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications for future videos. And yeah, if you have anybody that you think this video might help, please share with them. If you'd like to support this channel, of course, I've got my Buy Me a Coffee links down below. I have merch. I also have a link down below for that. And these are actually really nice cups. This has become my daily mug. It's nice. It holds heat well. It feels good. And it's got an awesome logo. So yeah, anyway, I hope that, if you want to support my channel in some way, that you might choose one of those. I have Amazon links down below. Of course, those are at no charge to you, no additional cost by using Amazon. If you're shopping for something anyway, if you use one of my links, then I'll get a small commission and you pay nothing in addition. And of course, likes and subscribes and shares are free and are a great way to help support the channel. So I really appreciate that. And I also look forward to your comments. It makes it fun, and I try to answer every comment or respond to every comment in some way. And I hope that we keep the conversation going. It's fun. I'm pretty active on my community tab, so if you haven't checked out over there, I generally do 2 or 3 posts a week over on the community tab. So, all right. Anyway, my name is Doug. This is AstroAF, and the next image coming up here is SH286.